I finally found it. The perfect field to practice in. No soccer fields or people in the way, just wide open space. With a little bit of gravel that hopefully I won't hit. What's up everybody? Jordan from Ginger Snap Disc Golf here, and today we're going to talk about field work. Let's get into it. It's really important. Before you do field work, you need to do stretch work. That way, you don't have to do physical therapy work after injury. Stretching is important. All right, so when it comes to field work, I think that there are three basic types of field work. One, you have form work. Two, you have bag work. And then lastly, you have flight work. I'm gonna break those down a little bit better. We are talking form work. This is any form of field work where you're going out to a field and you're just working on a very specific drill. Some people, this is gonna be like a one-step drill where you're working on your weight shift, where you just step and plant. Some people, it's gonna be standstills. For some people, it's forehand, it's backhand, it's whatever. For me personally, in this specific video, I'm actually gonna be working on my coil because somewhere in the past 2 or 3 months, I've started reaching back downward instead of keeping a coiling position level. I'm specifically gonna be working on keeping my coil motion high and my shoulder and body in an athletic position. This is the type of field work that we call form work. Now, this can be done out in a field, obviously, but this can also be done like in your backyard or even your house if you have the proper equipment to do so. I was yanked a little bit, but I coiled high. I think form work, and I've said it in all of my other videos where I talk about form drills and tips and things like that, you don't need to be worried about distance. All you need to be worried about is that specific mechanic that you are practicing getting better. One of the best ways to do that is what I'm doing right now. It's videoing or recording yourself in your form, because a lot of times we think we are doing something, but the reality of it is we're not. The Prodigy A5. Oh my gosh. Such a good disc. The next type of field work, bag work. This is where you want to throw every disc in your bag so that you know how that it's flying and throwing for you. Because as we all know, we get better, we get worse, we have slumps, we have primes of our disc golf game. So when those things happen, the discs in our bag are probably going to fly a little bit differently than we last remembered. And if we're being honest, most of us probably play the same handful of courses and use the exact same discs on every single shot, which means not every disc in our bag gets used all the time. So it's important that we do that at some point. With bag work, you need to throw your whole bag. See if I can like time lapse throwing all 30 of these discs, or however many I throw until I get tired. I would suggest when you're doing your bag work, throwing these discs anywhere from 75% power to even full power, just like you would if you were to use these in a normal round of disc golf work when you're working on form. I don't think you need to be throwing those like 75% or even full power. With your bag though, I would suggest throwing at least 75% so you get like a very true, realistic in-round flight of the disc. On to the last type of field work. Last type of field work, flight work. Get a random bag of discs that maybe you don't bag anymore, and if you have like a tote bag like this, like a field bag, is literally what it's called, go out to a field like so, just getting a handful of like 3 discs at a time. It can be random. Those 3 discs that you get, throwing a hyzer, flat, or anhyzer, depending on what the disc is. Buzz SS is probably the most understable, so I would throw it and practice a hyzer shot. The Eagle is more of a neutral to overstable disc, so I would try to throw this disc flat to work on my flat shots. And lastly, the Rock 3, I would use it, it's the most overstable of the 3, so I would use it for more of an anhyzer flex shot. Probably wondering, Jordan, why don't you just use the discs that are in your bag? That way you get extra practice with them and you can still practice flight shapes. I think subconsciously we use the discs in our bag for very specific shots. So if we try to use them when we are practicing different shots, there's a really good chance that without even thinking about it, you're going to end up throwing the disc on any other normal line you would usually use it for, instead of practicing that new shot shape that you're practicing, if that makes sense. All right, let's practice some flight work. First up, the Buzz SS. I'm gonna try to throw it on some hyzer. Pretty good hyzer, about half power. All right, now I'm gonna throw flat with the Eagle. Pretty flat, I would think. Lastly, the Rock 3 on a big anhyzer flex. Realistically, this is the flight work I should be practicing the most, because for whatever reason I've forgotten how to throw an anhyzer. Huh. It's not the best, but it works. All right, let's do that one more time. Random discs. This is so hard to not be biased because you can tell if it's like a mid or distance drivers. All right, 3 drivers. Bro, what an assortment. All right, we got the Big Z Athena, the Big Z Nuke, and then we got the 400 D2. Nuke that I have is a little bit lighter weight, so it's very, very understable. So this will be my hyzer flight. Athena is pretty overstable in the Big Z plastic, so this will probably be my anhyzer. D2, honestly, I can't remember how it flies, so I'm just gonna throw it flat. All right, let's go hyzer with the Nuke. Holy, understable. Goes so far though. That went pretty far. We'll go flat with the D2. That's kind of low, but flat. This is why we're doing flight work. All right, anhyzer with the Athena. Pretty good. Almost 350, I don't know. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Those are the 3 different types of field work. My last suggestion would be, don't do what I just did and practice all 3 of them in one day. I'm exhausted. I also just got through shooting a video about grip that is either coming out before this or after. I'm not sure which, but it's pretty good. You need to go check it out. I actually threw a bomb in that video. We're building a pretty good community here on Ginger Snap Disc Golf. Pretty excited about it. So stay snappy. I love y'all. Throw far.